All right, here we go. Let me log into a different one too. Make sure we live on everything. Well, I tell you, it'll be giving me hell. It'll be giving me hell to try to put these out to you. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Wild work. Very wild work. We gonna get the word out there, regardless. Let's go. Dang, intro don't even want to come on. This is crazy. Get this to you. All right, man. It get harder and harder to put these up. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, homies and homettes, children and babies, creatures of all kind? What it do? What it do? Welcome to another Man vs. Machine. I told you we was gonna get to it this Thursday. You live. I know it's early. Usually I do them later in the day. It's what 9:34 a.m. We with it. We is with it. Let's get to it, man. It's always for the chosen ones out there. Um, I know 2025, the start of 2025 is seeming like a continuation of 2024 to a lot of people, man. And that's just because the new year sets in doesn't mean that there's not like a restart button. It's not like a video game that you playing and you just restart things. The same energy you flowing with was redirecting. It'll come across to you, come right across into the new year. Um, that's funny. Every time I get on here, it start blowing up. Uh, So a lot's been going on. A lot's been going on, and we in some crazy times. Y'all can see by the weather. A lot of the stuff I've been telling y'all, man. Like we in Revelations, deep into Revelations, very deep into Revelations. It's snowing in the Gulf. I saw a picture of the Gulf of what do we call it? The Gulf of America now, or are we still calling it the Gulf of Mexico? Down in Alabama, and I was at work when I saw the picture. Dude showed me. I thought it was Lake Michigan, but it was actually the ocean down south. And I'm like, wow. And then I see it was snowstorms in Florida, snowstorms in Texas. They was getting more snow than we was getting here in Michigan and Ohio, which is insane. We got California on fire. So, hold on, let me get this off. That's hilarious. Here we go again. Telling slow connection. There we go. Let me put this to the Wi-Fi. Might be a lot of, might be too early for a lot of my followers. There we go. Might be a little bit too early for a lot of the followers. So yeah, hopefully I'll catch this video. I'm gonna post it later. So we've been going through a lot. I've been going through a lot. 2025 has been extremely challenging, but it's ways to navigate through that. And the reason why is, like I said, just like these events, God is trying to get your attention. We've been on cruise control. I've been on cruise control on my last one. I told you, like, I had to be honest with myself. Like, I was giving you what God wants me to give you, but I wasn't even walking in it myself. It's crazy to me. I was just thinking when I was in the car, I had to go get some gas, put some air in my tire. I was thinking like, dang, I was putting all these, and this is just God. Like when you seek God's face, He'll come to you and He'll reveal things that you weren't missing. And I was remember one of my main versus machines was sleeping with the enemy, and I didn't think it was for me at the time. I thought I was in a good situation, and out of the situation, I felt like I was the bad guy sometimes, and not necessarily a bad guy, but I felt that um, the individual was a better at relationships than me, and it was a Trojan horse at this point. It was a Trojan horse, really sleeping with the enemy. And I'm thinking I'm teaching y'all this, and is a lesson I should have learned way in the past, but it is current. It is current. Um, and then and so you go through these things. The guy has to kick you in the heart to really get a reaction out of you. God has to kick you in the heart. This thing keeps saying slow connection. I'm on my Wi-Fi. My router's right there. That's crazy. I'm the only person in the house, so no one's using the Wi-Fi for me. And so God sometimes has to kick you in your heart to get you to become the person that you want to become. Last one was about facing the final boss, the biggest demon that you will ever face is going to be looking you right in your face. And you can't face or defeat that demon until you come to a place of accountability. You have to recognize the flaws in you. You have to recognize that you're not perfect, that you are part of the problem, that your actions, especially as a chosen one, because the chosen one, as I spoke in the last video, chosen people amplify the room. They amplify the energy. They amplify the situation. So you either going to be working for good or you're going to be working for bad. There's really no in between. There's no lukewarm. In the Bible, Jesus says, I'll spit you out of my mouth if you're lukewarm. So you either working for your purpose, your calling, what God put you on this earth to be, or you working against that purpose. And for you to recognize what you're doing, and like I said, you can be blessed and still you can still be making money. You can still be doing certain things and dying on the inside, dying on your purpose, dying and failing because you're not really activating um the true power of God in your life because you're operating outside of the will of God. Like you can hide from your girlfriend what you're doing, you can hide from your boyfriend what you're doing, you can hide from your mama what you're doing, you can hide from your family what you're doing, you can hide from your boss, your coworkers, but you can't hide from God. You can hide from the police, you can hide from everybody you want to, but you can't hide from God. And He sees what you're doing. He sees your heart. And when God sees your heart, you can be living in sin, and God can see your heart, and He's tearing you up in the inside. And He'll pull you out of those situations to get your attention. Sometimes He breaks up couples so that they can split, and He can work on them individually because they're together. That they weren't able to hear each other. They weren't able to fix or mend their problems. So sometimes that's why very rarely, sometimes you see couples come back together because God has to separate them so they can work on their individual issues and their individual problems. Sometimes He separates families. I ain't trying to take my voice. Sometimes God even separate families and then bring them back together because they got to work. But sometimes God separates people so He can work specifically on that individual. Sometimes they never come back together because God needed to get you out of those situations. And so what this turned into today, this wasn't even what I was going to talk about, is you can't save people. It was a song, Project Pat, back in the day. Don't save her, she don't want to be saved. And I'm living that right now. Some people don't, they have to come to God themselves. And one thing about chosen people, you'll find out that you're a chosen one because you'll take accountability for your actions, for your mistakes. That's a main character um, of of a chosen person. We recognize our flaws. However, we recognize the flaws in other people, and we spend so much energy and so much time trying to save that person, even while we're trying to save ourselves. When you're drowning, when the person's drowning, they advise you not to let them latch onto you because they'll take you down with them. So you'll jump in the water to save this person, you end up drowning too, and you both die. And so, in the ocean of life, God sees you drowning, He'll pull you out, and you'll look back. Oh, that's my mama. That's my sister. That's my daddy. That's my brother. That's my girlfriend. That's my boyfriend, and try to bring them out with you. And you can't do it because you yourself were drowning. And so you God is trying to focus His energy on getting you into space, getting you into the version that He needs you to be for you to fulfill the purpose that He put you on this planet to be. And so we'll be fighting so hard to for a person to see repentance, for a person to see forgiveness, for a person to see the bigger picture, to see the future, to see the potential that they have in them, to see the potential y'all have together, to see the potential. Like, we made these mistakes, yes, but these mistakes, if we come into agreement, into alignment with God, these mistakes ain't that big. But you have to understand, some people aren't even part of God's plan for you. Some people aren't able to see that yet because God hasn't put that in their hearts. Pharaoh, when Moses, God had hardened Pharaoh's heart. He sent all these plagues, all these bad things upon Egypt, and Pharaoh just kept banging against it, banging against it, banging against it. No, I ain't setting y'all free. No, I ain't setting you free. Till the fact that his son died. Pharaoh had to get kicked in the heart. And he's like, oh, get out of here. Get out of here. It took, they had welts on them, frogs in the place, snakes, plagues, pestilence. And until Pharaoh lost his son, until he got kicked in the heart, he would not let Israel go. He would not do it. And Moses grew up with Pharaoh. They had a good relationship. They grew up together as brothers. And Pharaoh was not hearing. He couldn't hear the voice of his brother. Sometimes to come to repentance. Sometimes the person you love them and y'all done went through this together. Y'all was living in sin together. Y'all were doing these things together. Y'all weren't fulfilling the purpose that God had for you. And they can't hear your voice. God has God has hardened their heart till they can't hear your voice. And they're acting crazy. They're acting ridiculous to the situation. They're doing things out of their character. They're self-destructing. And you want to save them. Moses didn't want Egypt to go through the plagues that God was about to put on him. He kept pleading with Pharaoh. Pharaoh, please, just let the people go. He kept pleading. You keep pleading with your family members. Hey, we got to stop doing this. You keep pleading with your friends, man. Like, come on, we got to stop hanging out. Let's put this money into these businesses. You keep pleading with your spouse, like, hey, we can't keep living like this. You know, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep hanging out. We can't keep uh fornicating with outside of each other. We can't keep, cheating. We can't keep talking reckless to each other. We can't keep uh you might it might be your friends, you know what I'm saying? We can't keep selling dope. We can't keep, being out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? We need to elevate up. And they can't hear you. They can't hear you. Because God is hard in their hearts. Um and then you come to a place of repentance where God has pulled you out to see the errors of how you walk. God's pulled you out to see, like, hey man, you gotta check. If you want all these plagues in your life, your car acting crazy, your finances is messed up, the bills keep popping up, the house is falling apart. You're into it with your wife, you're into it with your husband, you're into it with your girlfriend, you're into it with your boyfriend, you're into it with your kids, you're into it with your mama, you're into it with your boss. All this shit just keep happening. They You get a check and it's gone before you even can look at it. This bill, that bill, this thing need to be fixed. That thing need to be fixed. This need to be paid. This need to be paid. And you wonder why we're going through all these cycles, because we're not living in our purpose. We're not walking in our purpose. So you're going to go through life's trial ups and downs regardless when you're living in your purpose. But it's easier to know that you got the victory when you're in. But when you outside of the will of God and you wondering why all these things keep happening, because God is trying to get your attention. I got to put a storm on. He got to kick you in the heart to get your attention. And sometimes he'll give you a breakup to put you in attention. Sometimes you'll fall out with family members so he can kick you in your heart. Sometimes people pass. Sometimes catastrophic things need to happen so God can get our attention. And then he puts you in a place of isolation. And isolation is so he can heal you. So he can heal you and so you can see. Because sometimes when you're in the middle of the storm, all you see is the storm. So God got to pull you out so you can see, oh man, this is why all these things keep happening. This is why I'm doing all this and nothing's gaining traction. This is why I'm not moving in my process. And you have to understand at times that when you're going through these things, you can't save somebody else. You have to save you first. You have to come to um a place where, okay, I gotta let them go. I gotta let them be and let God work on them. Pray for them. Pray that God give them the insight and revelation, unharden their heart so they can see. But you have to focus on you to get to where you're trying to be, to where you're trying to go. That's the most critical part of the process is when sometimes you can't save your family. Sometimes you can't save your friends. Sometimes they're not ever going to see what you want them to see. And they're not ever going to do what you want or think they have the potential to do. And you have to be cool with that. Sometimes, very few often, God will align them back to where they need to be. And sometimes when he does, y'all all in a different space. You know what I'm saying? But as a chosen one, you are the breakthrough. You are the precipice. You're the nuclear device. I said that's before too. You're the nuclear device of spiritual warfare that God needs. And for you to become to a place where you are most effective, um, we are most effective, then you have to come to that place in God where He is trying to get you to be, where He is trying to get your attention, where your focus, so you can become the better version of you, so you can defeat that final boss. You can't defeat the final boss on yourself. You as a alone can't defeat the final boss yourself. You need to be in line with God. It's gonna take things. Some says certain things don't come out with much fasting and prayer. So you have to defeat that final boss. You have to be in alignment. You have to be focused, and you have to put the blinders on for everything else around you. Can't worry about saving everybody just yet because you haven't become Superman. You are learning your powers. You know what I'm saying? You're learning how to refine your powers. So your whole purpose, and I told you, everybody's life that's put on this planet is for servitude. We live in a self-serving society where everyone just wants me, 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 me. What are you gonna do for me? This is why relationships don't work right now. That's why you see all these so-called bad chicks and all these ladies is single as hell because it's just me, 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 me. That's not how relationships work. Um, Relationships work as two people operating together as one, as a unit. So if you everybody in this society right now just focus on self, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna be the better version of me. Well, the better version of you is for you to help someone else, not for you to just self-serve yourself. That's not what you here for. God is not a self-serving God. He helps everyone. That's what he wants to do. That is God's wholehearted mission is to show you that he loves you, cares for you. So if that's what love is, showing and caring for other people, even people you don't know, then how is it that we think in our minds that it's all about me? How do you? It is funny, like when I be watching these people, especially now I'm single, I'm really paying attention to people's moves with the action. It's all about them. How you gonna be fine as hell and lonely as fuck for the rest of your life? We're literally because you have that mindset. Beautiful on the outside, ugly as hell on the inside. No one's gonna want you. They're gonna fuck on you, but they're not gonna want. And fellas is the same way. Like this arrogance that people carry around that is just all about them. No, man, your life really is about servitude. Whether that's that and the power of blessing and curses coming from the mouth. What you speak into people's lives, that's big, man. Like that's big. The things that you say to people. You don't want to tear people down. That's and like I said, the society is so crazy. We spend so much time and so much energy on negativity. Focus on negativity of bringing people down instead of speaking life into people. And that's the things that God has for you to fight that final, to defeat that final boss. You got to start speaking blessings onto your own life. You have to learn how to elevate and lift up your own life so that you can elevate and lift up others around you. But sometimes, all the time, 90% of the time, you can't worry about other people until you've fixed yourself, till you've honed the skills of yourself. And then your actions. People to see it. They see genuine how you move different, how you act different, how you talk different, how your walk is different, how your perspective is different. You have it in you. You have it in you. That's what the chosen one is. You have it in you. And that's why people gravitate to you. But you're not using it in its full totality. You're a nuclear bomb, but you're walking around as a grenade. That's good. You're a nuclear bomb, but you're walking around as a grenade. That's what it is when you're a chosen one. But you haven't activated the power of God in your life. You just a grenade, just a regular grenade. You might do one or two things, powerful enough to blow off one or two things, but your whole purpose in this on this planet is to be great. And for greatness, there's sacrifices. There, greatness is when you take those lessons and get kicked in the heart and you learn from it. When Pharaoh got kicked in the heart, he let the people go for a second, and then he went after him to go get him again, and then that led to his death and the death of his army. So when you get kicked in the heart, and you start doing the right thing, stay doing the right thing because the next calamity could be the end of you. It's only so long that we have on this planet, and it's only so many times that you can operate outside of the will of God and be able to come back inside. And this is a critical. I don't want to use the word season. This is a critical year. You can see it for yourself. All the signs is there, and people just running around here like they don't see the world just on the nut. You have a president that's just he wilding. Some good, some bad. I'm not a pro him or a negative him. I see some of the stuff that he's trying to do, and I see some of the other shit like, oh wow, it's like he's trying to erase history, and that's what a colonizer does. That's pretty much seems like that's the game. But if you read your word, you know what's going on. You know what's up. So you have to prepare for that. It's gonna happen. All the signs are there. All these earthquakes that's happening right now, and shit, and this weather. I don't know what. How could you be blind to this? Like, especially us, because at some point, us. And I don't know about this new generation, but that's '80s babies and '90s babies. You grew up in the church. You heard this prior to what's going on. This shouldn't be a surprise to none of y'all. Um, this is happening and it's going down major. And so for God to pull his chosen one out that's not in position, he's kicking you in the heart. And I got to get his attention. What I'm going to do? I'm going to hurt his heart. I'm going to take a person from him. I'm going to take something from him that he loves. So I got to get his attention now because they're running out of time. The thing that he thought or she thought was solid, I'm going to take it and I'm going to get their attention. And you're going to want to try to save that person or that thing, and you're not going to be able to because God wants you to focus. Look here. Look at me. I mean, I do this with my son when we lifting weights, and I do this with my son when we playing basketball. Look at what I'm doing, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right. And but I want him to look at me. Look at me, and don't look over here. Don't look over there. Don't try to say this person. Don't try to say that person. I'll work on them. You pray for them. I'll work on them. But I need you here. I need you locked in on what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to teach you. And that's where we are with it. And so he put that in my spirit today when I was driving the car, and he was like, you was saying all the things I wanted you to say. Yeah, you got back doing the main versus machine, not as serious as I was supposed to do it. And you was saying the right things, but you was operating. You're not even realizing that the stuff that you teaching, you think you're teaching it to somebody else, but I was sending the words to you too. I was sending the messages to you too. And you um and it's crazy that I know these things and I'm just oblivious to it. Because though I was fulfilling part of my purpose, I wasn't walking in the will of God. I was outside of it. I was outside of the will of God and I was blinded to it. And that's what the principalities and high places want to do. They want to keep you content and not fulfilling your purpose. If they can't keep you content, they want to kill you. They don't come to play around because you are a major threat. If you're a chosen one, like I told you, nuclear bomb is a major threat. They don't care about you being a grenade. You might, wake up a couple people, but then they'll see the flaws in you if you're not walking right, if you're not activated. You know what I'm saying? If you're not activated. So learning to let go and let God and focus on what it is that He wants you to do is so very important because we are running out of time. Uh, so many people that I grew up with that is not here no more, and I'll be wondering. I used to do the same things that they was doing. I'm still here, and that is because you have a purpose. Every time you open your eyes that next day, you wake up, you look around your room, and you're able to get up out of your bed and go and do this, do that. That's because it's a stock tip. Yesterday, yesterday, I don't know if that was a stock tip just came up. Yesterday, that thing panned out real good. It's time, man. It's time for us to be who we dreamed we could be. It's time for us that little voice inside that wanted to be greater than just that everyday routine. Um, it's time for us to fulfill those purposes. It's time to lock in for real. If you don't see the signs, I don't know what to tell you because they everywhere. Said between the little orange man, and it wouldn't have been no better after the fake crazy lady that's black and Asian when she wanted to be, and she would have got in. This shit is going down regardless of which one of them was in office. The world they don't control. Maybe they do these fires and these earthquakes and these snowstorms and all this whatever it is that's prophecy, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. So God is you a chosen one, kicking your ass in the heart. He taking something that you might even thought it was insignificant, but it's to get your attention, causing you pain right now. And so you're like, damn, it's still 2024 and it's 2025. Why I'm still going through all this chaos and all this stuff. God trying to get your attention, bro. You wait. You waking up to the pain. You able to go through it. You ain't got your 60 people died yesterday. A plane crashed into a helicopter. That's crazy. They don't get this opportunity. They can't hear this. They can't watch these type of videos and uh, to recognize what's really going on, what's really happening. So you have to understand that you can't. You have to start with saving yourself. You have to start with fixing yourself. The first phase of that is recognizing this is what I'm doing wrong. God help me with it. Then start fixing on and working on that, fixing you. And align yourself to what you know your purpose is. Ask if you don't, ask, what's my purpose? What do you got me here for? What am I supposed to be doing? And how do I get to that? Then as you praying for yourself, pray for those people that pray for everybody, but pray for those people that God puts forgiveness in their hearts, puts accountability in their hearts so they can first, you know, recognize their mistake and their wrongs and their flaws and how they are not aligned. Pray for them. If they get with the program, they get with the program. That's all you can do. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about your mom. Don't worry about your daddy. Don't worry about your sister. Don't worry about your brother. Don't worry about your homie. Don't worry about your cousin. Your most powerful weapon is prayer. Worry about you. And then if they align and they are able to come back and God has it willed for them to come back in your life, cool. But if not, go forward. Daniel had to go forward without his family. His brothers sold him off. They sold him off into slavery and he became number two in Egypt, number two to Pharaoh. So sometimes your blessings ain't tied to the people that you've been born with. Sometimes it ain't tied to that person that you was just in a relationship. Sometimes it ain't tied to your family members or your friends. You'll outgrow people. You got to start putting yourself in rooms with people who are where you trying to be. If you cool being a bum, stay hanging with bums. If you cool with being mediocre, stay with being mediocre. But if you want to come up from being a bum, you need to get with people that's at least in the mid level. If you want to come up to being rich, you got to get with people that has more than what you got to get to where you're trying to go. You can't be stuck down here with people that don't want shit because they're never gonna want shit. And you're gonna take on that mentality and that personality, those same people that don't want anything. So while God is trying to pull you away, and you want to be. Man, I love my friend. I grew up with them. They're my day ones. Blah blah blah. And that's my baby. I love her. I love my boyfriend. I love my husband. If they're pulling you, or they're keeping you in a place that's lacking elevation, that's lacking where you know in your heart that you're supposed to be. You know in your heart that I'm supposed to be up here, not here. Doing the same shit that you've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Some of y'all young that's going to be listening to this. That's 21. And you don't really want to be this person. You didn't live this life. Some of y'all, when I was 21, I lived a life of a 40-year-old by that time. I done been through so much shit. I had a child. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the military, been out of the military. Uh, Man, I've been shootouts. By the time I was 21, I done sold drugs. I didn't fucking, man, I'd have been arrested more times than I could count. Uh, what up, Charlika? How you doing? I meant to hit you up too on the condolences of your mom. I know I hit you up on Facebook, but I should have hit you. I should have called you. Hope everything is well. Um, yeah. So like I had done so much by the time I was 21 that I done lived multiple lives, and yet here at the age of 43, sometimes I was repeating those same bullshit. Why am I still out here with these same people or same types of people? And I want to be here. I know greatness is in me, but I'm still in the room with people that's vibrating on such a low level. And it's like if you go to the gas station, all right, and you put 87 octane in your car and you mix, but you know you're supposed to be running 93 and you put 93 in there. Well, you only made it mediocre. So if you keep mixing yourself, you know you up here, but you keep mixing yourself with shit down here, the best you gonna be is mediocre. So if you want to be up, you got to deal with people that's doing better than you. And this spirit of jealousy that linger in people, don't ever be afraid to be around people that's doing more than you, especially if they bringing you in and showing you how to be there. That shit gonna rub off on you. that is gonna rub off on you. But if you still down here and in the mud with people that's in the mud and they ain't trying to come out of the mud, uh them same people that's spending their time not doing shit of of to better themselves. And I'm talking about just beyond money. I'm talking about spiritually too. I'm talking about um a higher vibration too, because there's a lot of rich, miserable ass people. Once you and don't be around people that's miserable or using their money for just nefarious actions, because that ain't cool too. Because you can be physically rich and spiritually dead, and you don't want to attach yourself to that, man. You want to attach yourself to upper vibration, and it ain't even all about wealth. If it's people down here vibrating in the low realm, you want to get with your friends that that are happy, genuinely happy, that live a happy life, um, that are doing things that are self-serving to others, and that are doing things that God is. You can see God is activated in their life, and those are gonna be the friends that are rare. It's gonna be more people that's not doing shit purposeful with their life than it is gonna be people that are actually walking in their purpose. So those are the ones when you see those type of people, gravitate to them. Don't run away from them. Don't run down to the dog shit. Don't run down to the village. That's why it's just funny to me. Everybody calls themselves kings and queens. Oh, queen, I'm a queen, but you ain't. No one. You very rarely see people acting like kings and queens. There's a reason that it's a 1% in this on this planet. There's a reason it's a 1%er. That's the difference. Like, don't focus on the multitude. You have to focus on the the minority, the minority of, and that's gonna be your friends. That's really you can see God's light in them. You can see them moving. That's the type of people you want to meet. Sometimes they're gonna be strangers to you, but you wanna gravitate to them. You're gonna be out in the street. You might meet somebody at a restaurant. You might meet somebody at a store, and you gravitate towards that light. God be putting people in your life to elevate you. And we miss it so much because we miss the opportunity sometimes because we so attached to being down here instead of being up here. That's a lot of times God will put people in my life, and I could see that they could have elevated my life in business, spiritually, physically, and I wanted to bring everybody else down here up with me so bad that I spent more time and energy focusing on trying to bring them here that I missed the opportunity to get up here. Because I'm trying to reach back so much. Come on, y'all, we need to do this. I guess where I'm at. I'm at such and such, and he doing this and he doing that, and I'm sitting here trying to worry about them to bring them here that I missed out being here. I could have been way up here, but I'm still trying to reach back. Like the opportunity now, the situation now. I want it so bad to fix this situation because I'm like, damn, I was operating outside of what I should have been doing. That's washed. They don't want help. They want to be miserable. They want to have a hardened heart. They want to be Pharaoh. That I can't let that make me miss this time, this opportunity. This is the time I'm telling you, y'all, that while God kicking y'all in your heart, this is your time. It ain't shit can stop you from being great right now, but you. I promise you. I promise you, if you line yourself up to what your purpose is, that shit inside of you that don't want to just work at the damn mall, that don't want to just work on the factory, yeah, that's cool. All that shit is cool. But that want to be bigger than that. That want to be greater than that. You know what I'm saying? It's so many opportunities to get yourself wealthy, both physically and spiritually. And if you waste those opportunities now, they might not come around again. You might not live to see those opportunities again. So y'all got to get with it, man. Don't worry about trying to save other people right now. Focus on saving you. And if it's cool, if the people want to come and they want to align themselves with getting their shit together and getting themselves together, they're the people you want to be around. But if somebody is resisting it and don't want to be forgiving, don't want to acknowledge the mistakes, don't want to acknowledge that there's better opportunities and better shit going on than to be worried about being miserable, to being worried about mistakes from the past. If they don't recognize that, leave them where they at. But it's the people that's trying to get their stuff together, that's already got their stuff together, that's where you trying to go. That's who you want to lock in with right now. Everybody else that's just living in their past and living down here in this low vibrational state, misery, can't let shit go. Those are low vibrational states. I'm gonna stay angry with such and such. I'm gonna stay like this. I don't give a shit how many times they say they sorry. I'm good. I'm straight on that. Blah blah blah. Them the type of people that's low vibration. Leave them there because they can't move past they past. So they'll always be stuck there. They can't see that it's so much potential and opportunity and purpose to fulfill your purpose that they'll never be they'll hold you back from getting to where you're trying to go. So you gotta let that go, and you gotta align yourself with the people. Like, you know what? Bunk all that stuff we just did. Bunk all that stuff we've been doing. Let's lock in and let's get it for this year. Let's get it for next year. Let's change our lives. Let's change the projection, the course of our family's life. Let's change the course of the lives of people we don't even know. Because you know, as a chosen one, your purpose, you about to lock in. It's about to be a time where you about to affect people on a planetary level, not just a local level, not just in your neighborhood, on a planetary level. A lot of y'all got gifts that may supersede the gifts that God put in me. You might be greater than me. I probably need to lock in with some of y'all because y'all got gifts inside of y'all. And a lot of those gifts um can form together. We can help each other to get to where we're trying to go. And that's really what you want to lock in. You want to lock in with people that see, like, oh, it's something greater for me out here. Not people that want to be stuck in the past and be miserable and be mad at people and be, you know what I'm saying, want to stay down here instead of getting up here. Don't miss being up here trying to bring people down here that don't want to come up. Not the ones that want to come up, not the ones that get it. Like, you know what? Let's put all this bullshit behind us. And this all this dumb shit that we've been doing. Let's put all that behind us. Let's lock in and lock in with God and do this. Not those people. I'm talking about the people that don't want to, that don't want to move forward, that don't want to be better, that just don't even see it. This narcissist spirit that's running around in men and women today, baby, baby, it's nuts. When people do shit and think it's funny, they just do wicked and evil and think it's funny. Oh, no accountability. Oh, I only did this because you made me do it. Man, that spirit is crazy out here right now. Be very careful of these narcissistic spirits, man. This is wild. It's wild. It's demons. These demons, they in living color, boy. And I ain't talking about Keen Ivory Waynes. They in living color, walking around. Watch who you attach yourselves to. Be very careful, and not just this season, in these years, these upcoming years. Be very careful who you lock in with. Make sure you see the light of God in people. If you don't see that light, keep that shit moving, baby. Keep that shit moving. And God gonna bring you to people. But pray that they get right, and God reveal that to them. But for you, when God reveal it to you, lock in. Focus on getting yourself right. Appreciate y'all. We up out of time. That went over a little bit longer than I wanted to. Thank y'all for rocking with Man versus Machine. See y'all on the next one.